As Musa headed towards the far side of the field, he saw the magnificent sight of the vast canyon coming into view. Musa's breath was taken away by the wonderful vista of colours. The yellows, golds and oranges all seemed to be glowing. As Musa reached the tree, he decided to stand against the back side of it so he could admire this view. It truly was a different world beyond his humble little county. He put his hands behind his head, leant his back against the tree and put his feet against the top plank in the fence. It felt good to have his back to the entire county. And there didn't seem to be anyone in the vast wilderness in front of him either. The land was barren, no one there that he could see, but in the sky there were a few birds circling, and there was a plane that seemed to be flying aimlessly one way and then coming back again. Musa looked at the incline just the other side of the fence he had his feet on. It was quite steep and full of debris and loose rocks. He wondered if anyone had ever been brave enough and curious enough to carefully scale down it and see how far the drop into the canyon was. He himself was curious, but had had enough excitement for one day. After this thought, he moved his feet to the second plank in the fence, in case the top plank broke. He knew he'd have a hard time stopping himself sliding and falling into the canyon, and that he could do without. Just then he heard something moving in the field, just behind the tree. Who could it be? Musa sprang up and pressed himself against the tree, and saw it was a brown duck that had stopped and was looking around. No one had been around for ages, Musa thought. Why would a random duck be here? He decided he would have to find out, and jumped out from behind the tree. "Laurent," he said. The duck slowly turned his head in Musa's direction. He was calm and cool, and remained silent. "Are you Laurent?" Musa tried again. The duck slowly moved his head to face in front of him once more, and casually strided off, saying nothing until he was about 10 yards in front of the tree, when he dismissively said the word, "Weird." Musa thought it was better to be embarrassed than miss out on meeting the real Laurent. He resumed his position at the tree, staring into the canyon, and realised he had time to think things through. The bears thought he was Laurent because he had bumped into that dog. But why did the grey cat think it too? After all, Musa had continually denied it. The only other thing he had talked about was orange juice. And of course Mr. Catlin had nothing to do with it. The grey cat and the bears used Catlin's property, knowing that if Musa told Sergeant Jehu, Jehu wouldn't be able to find them. And Sergeant Jehu and Bunny didn't believe Musa's far-fetched story because Musa didn't really know what had happened and he couldn't explain it. Musa was thinking, what could have happened? How could this all happen? "Mr. Laurent?" A familiar voice suddenly appeared. And Musa quickly popped his head around the tree and saw the grey cat. "Hello, Mr. Laurent." "I'm Musa, I'm not Laurent," Musa said nervously. "Of course you're not Mr. Laurent. All you do is answer to his name and are exactly where we were told to meet him, yet you are not he," the grey cat responded. "But how did you find me?" said Musa. The two bears that were stood either side of him marched towards Musa and began to tie his hands together. As they moved, Musa saw the fourth member of this group. "Maria!" Musa was astonished. "But I thought you were my friend." "It turns out your friend Maria is actually my friend Maria," the grey cat said with a smirk. Maria looked down as if she was sorry for what she had done, but Musa knew she had set him up. "I can't believe you'd do such a thing, Maria," he protested as the bears threw the rope over a tree. They winched him up using the branch in the tree into the air. He was whizzing around and spinning like a Christmas decoration dangling from the tree. Musa was getting dizzy. He could still hear the two bears and the grey cat laughing at him, but Maria was telling them to stop and let him down. As Musa still span around, he could see a large group entering the far end of the field. Whoever it is, it'll probably be bad news for me, he thought to himself. Take him down, a voice called out, and Musa hit the floor like a sack of spuds. What are you lot up to? Musa recognised the voice and shook the stars out of his eyes and saw it was Sergeant Jehu, who had brought along a whole precinct of crop cops. Who are you, and what are you doing with poor Musa? Sergeant Jehu sternly inquired. We were just playing around, said one of the bears. We're friends. Yeah, that's it, we're friends, the bears continued. All right, boys, we know who you are. Enough of this nonsense, said Duster, the bulldog who led the crop cops. Remember me, right? Duster asked the grey cat. I asked you if you and your friends had been stealing all the oranges for yourselves these last few months here, and you say you haven't. Then Duster placed his hands on his hips and began to shake his head. I told you I'd find out if you was lying, and I told you here I got my best undercover agent on it, and now Laurent got us hear this whole story on his all. The grey cat was still smirking through Duster's revelation. Well, Mr. Laurent, the grey cat said to Musa, I'm very intrigued to find out what so-called evidence you have against me, he continued confidently. That ain't Laurent, interrupted Duster. That's Laurent. Duster pointed at Maria, who was making her way over to Musa to help him untie himself, and everyone was speechless. Duster continued, Yeah, Maria Laurent, and she's cracked the case yet again. No more orange juice for yous here again, he said proudly, and Sergeant Jehu and the others rounded up the bears and the grey cat. I'm sorry, Musa, said Maria. I know you must think I'm awful for not telling you who I was, but it helped me enormously that they thought you were Laurent. And when I told them I knew where you were, they trusted me enough to let me help them move their stash of orange juice. So I was able to tell Duster and the crop cops that it was all at Red Moon Farm. I couldn't have done it without you, Musa. I hope you can forgive me. Maria explained it all, and Musa nodded along. It's fine, he began. I've been quite scared and a little bit upset through most of this, but I've handled it a lot better than I thought I would, and plus, I wouldn't have met you but for all this, Maria. And Maria's eyes lit up with joy. Thanks, Musa, she said, but again, I'm awfully sorry. Sorry? Shouted the grey cat, whilst having his rights read to him by Bunny. I don't suppose I get an apology, the only entirely innocent creature in this whole saga. The grey cat's even temper had finally tipped over, and he lunged at Maria. She jumped backwards, tripped, and fell over the fence and slid down the embankment of rubble and debris, and she was heading all the way into the canyon. The grey cat looked horrified at what he had done, but like the others, he was completely frozen in shock. Musa dived over the fence and was sliding headfirst after Maria, but she was going much, much quicker than him, and the dust and the loose rocks and the sand were all creating a big pile of dust, and he couldn't see her. Suddenly she was gone. Musa dug his paws in as hard as he could as he saw the edge of the cliff approaching. He stopped just in time. He looked down into the canyon. It was the highest, biggest drop he had ever seen. It went on forever, and it almost made him dizzy. He looked right along the cliff face. Nothing there. He looked left, and there she was, hanging onto a rock on the cliff face, her feet dangling freely in the air, and one wrong move away from falling into the canyon. Musa carefully made his way across, whilst the others watched from behind the fence. Give me your paw, said Musa. I can't, said Maria. Trust me, just give me your paw. Musa tried again. Maria let go of the rock and swung her paw towards Musa's. He grabbed it and pulled as hard as he could, but she was too heavy. He tried again. This time he nearly got her back up to safety. Just one more, Musa pulled Maria out of the stream and gave her a glass of orange juice as they played around not too far away from his house. They hadn't fallen into the canyon and enjoyed many years of happiness together with their friends. And there was always plenty of orange juice thanks to them.